And there we go. Welcome to Bits Radio. This is our first Bits Radio live. And Tim, luckily we get to have you on our show. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Thank you, Robert. How the hell are you?
Great. Yeah, I should have Timothy Paul McCarthy. From a variety of things, as I've noticed, not just Nash Crothers.
No.
That blew my mind. I think like Nash is everything.
Oh, it's such a fun thing to done, and but I mean the cost of that is it's kind of a bit of a one note character, but if you look deeply, there's a bit of nuance there.
Well, I even have my unofficial Nash Crother glasses.
Oh, I have the official ones upstairs. I should have brought them down.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about you. What made you decide to get into the acting business?
Well, it really goes back to when I was a kid. Growing up in Kitchener, I did what everybody did: played hockey, played sports, but I was also always an artist. I was always doing visual art and graphic art and doing plays, and I was a musician. And so after I finished high school, it's like, what am I going to do? Am I going to go into art and design, or am I going to go into music? So I ended up going to music school and getting that done, and worked in the music business for a couple of years and realized what a shady that's a funny thing to be involved with, and always sort of was involved with acting. I was doing scene studies and courses with the view to always get back into it. And then in 2007, my sister, who performed a lot, actually not too far from your neck of the woods in Sarnia at the Blue Water Theater or whatever it is. And so she moved to Toronto and she was keeping her hand in, and she said, you should get back into it. And I said, yeah, okay. You know what? I got nothing to do, so I'll make that my extracurricular thing. And I went back into it and started auditioning right away in 2007 and just started to get parts. And I just kept rolling with it and stuck with it and got to know people. It was all sort of word of mouth. I got a lot of calls that go, hey, I'm doing this film. You want to be a part of it? Oh, yeah, sure. So that's kind of how it happened.
And I was noticing the first one you did it's listed anyway as 09. It's slightly used.
Yeah. That was actually shot in 2007. And there's some things happened. They finally put it out in 2009. So it's dated as 2009, but it was 2007 it was done. So yeah, that was my first film.
And what was that experience like? Your very, very, very first time?
You know what? It was we shot it in Thunder Bay. So you went up and we lived in the college there in their dorms. Oh God, it was hot. And it was like, I was like nervous, but confident, And it was, you can see, you look back at it, you go, okay, that was good. And oh my God, I'd do that so much differently now. But it was nerve-wracking, but it was a lot of fun.
I can imagine, especially from your first gig, when you look back at it now. Oh, I can just imagine the things that you'd look at and go, oh, should have changed that.
Oh, God. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's awful. God, what am I thinking?
Right now, Jason Tanis is watching. He's one of the people watching. Said, good morning, guys.
Jason who?
Jason Tanis, one of the Team Supreme from Blood and Snow.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. I very rarely see him too.
I'm kidding. Hi, Jason. How you doing, buddy?
And this guy, Michael, who I think you know.
Oh, yeah. Michael.
Yes.
He's monitoring me. There's certain things he said that you're not allowed to talk about. And I'm like, well, buddy, rolling the dice with me then.
You got like 7 NDAs signed in front of you going, not this one.
Yeah. I didn't give him enough warning to do that. So intentionally.
Smart thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's Jason laughing at us.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys have something you want to ask Tim, just post it on the side because we can get it up here.
Oh yeah.
This is the beautiful thing about this live interactive, platform.
It is.
Now, once you got going into the acting, because I noticed, there was 09, there was 11, but it was like around 14 where you really started to move. What made that change? Or was it just the parts?
I think it was the parts, but also, like when I did that first film, Slightly Used, like I just fucking loved it. Like I really loved it. And I'm like, wow, that was so cool to be able to do that. Um, I want to get better at it. I want to try and get deeper and find out what the craft is, and so I just kept looking for opportunities, and then that's when they started to happen, where there was more films starting to be done, and it was again word of mouth. It was like you get to know these people, and then it kind of spread out from there. But there was definitely that little jump where all of a sudden there was a lot of activity in that period of time.
Yeah. And now, and again, when you're looking at IMDb, you have to remember it was about a year before that you were actually working, as opposed to the dates that these things came out.
Yeah.
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 Now, right early at the beginning, I see Spook Slayers.
Yeah.
And that was by Michael.
Yeah.
What was it like meeting him for the first time?
Um, Again, I didn't know who this guy was, and he wanted to meet me and just figure out, what's this guy about, because I was recommended by Neil Green, who was the producer, writer, a lead in Slightly Used, and he had an association with Mike, and he was also in Spook Slayers, as one of the Spook Slayers, and so we got together on Danforth at some place, can't remember the name of it, Future Bakery, I think. Yeah, and we just hit it off, and I just remember, talking to him. We were just kind of looking at each other at first, we're like, so, how's it going? Then all of a sudden it was like there were nothing. It was just like, oh, I felt like I knew this guy for 10 years, and we just got on straight away. And then, when we got to shoot the movie, it was like, oh, I understood what he wanted, and it worked out. So I've been in every film of his since. Well, a smaller bit in this last one, but yeah, that's how it worked out. It was cool.
It's always so nice when you do have that connection,
Yeah.
during the filming. Have you ever been on set where it wasn't, you didn't have that, where it felt like you were swimming upstream?
No, fortunately, I've been really fortunate. I mean, I used to try and apply three standards to what I did and what I brought. Number one, dedication, professionalism, and courtesy. So my career outside of acting was in advertising as an art director. So I had years of experience being on photo shoots, TV commercials, all sorts of things, directing these communications. And so I knew what the etiquette of being on set was. And so I definitely approached it with, trying to stay out of the way and be cool about everything. And so there's no ego here, just walk in, do what you got to do, learn how to hit your marks and deliver your lines, and with some gravitas, small, medium, and large, give them something to deal with. So I've never really had any issues at all. And it's funny because the first thing I thought of when you asked that question was, wait, maybe there is something, because I did a lot of TV shows in 2019, like 10 of them. And it's a different ball of wax entirely. It moves so fast. It's so rapid. It's get in, get out, stay out of the way. And sometimes there's a lot of tension because you got to get this stuff done. And there's a lot of money, you got 30 people standing there, and time to deliver. But that was just I think just healthy nervous energy on my part. So there was no impediment. So you just got to pay attention, listen, and you're gold.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense too, because they're on a timeline that a movie doesn't usually have to follow.
Yeah, and the ads on there are just crackerjack. Do this, do that. I need you here. It's just like, okay, move. But it's a fun experience because it just keeps moving.
It's almost like speed dating for acting.
Yeah. But that's actually a pretty good analogy. It is, yeah.
Now, again, earlier on, it looks like around 2015, and I just want to touch on Nash again real quick.
Yeah.
What was it like when Michael came to you with this script? Because this was the first time I got to see you act, and it was at Blood in the Snow, and I fell in love with that short,
What Death Box?
Death Box.
Okay, well but prior to that, there was Mike was asked to do a bumper for Toronto After Dark, and he a 1 minute little bumper, just and he came up with this Nash Carruthers character for that, and so there's a 1 minute little thing that introduces Nash. Have you not seen it? Come, Robert.
Michael, I need to see this.
You
No, I
need to
have
see
not.
that. Oh, it's on YouTube. But anyway,
Okay.
so we did it, and Jay Baskey shot it, and Jason was in it. Actually, Jason Tanis. You got to watch the opener. You'll just piss your pants laughing. It's so good the way he reacts to it, because I really do. Like I flick him like that in the forehead, and I really do it, and you can hear the sound is real. That's the sound of it. Anyway, and Kirk Haviland was in that, and Jason Dick, and anyway, it was a lot of fun. So that was the introduction to Nash, and Mike and I are, looking at each other like, okay, that was a riot. But then there was a bunch of people that saw the bumper at Toronto After Dark and said, you should do something with that, Mike. And so he started thinking about it, and then he came up with Death Box, and so we did that, and then Zandavi.
Yes, that one I love. And actually, he messaged Dan. Where's our here? He says, I think, meaning I think I've seen it. And now that you're talking about it, I do believe it was a bit ago. He messaged me and sent me the link, and I did watch it.
Yeah.
So yes, okay, and then it was the flick that reminded me, because that was a solid funk.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing Foley, but now you're telling me that was real.
No, it was real. Like, I don't know if you're still there, Jason, but I don't know. I'm like, sorry, Jason. He's like, no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, because I got a pretty good little.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
So then Death Box came, and that story idea, I love that, the torturing the vampire in the box. It's a different take on vampire hunting for sure.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Like Mike's little twist, because the cool thing about when Mike puts these things together for me is that it's always really based on humor and trying to take it and just turn it on its ear a little bit, tongue in cheek, not taking it too seriously. It's so I just love the way he approaches it, because there's a joke in just about every move. And that's why Nash is over the top. I mean, the face sticking through the top of the fucking coffin. I'm like really? That's just hilarious.
Here's Jason. He goes, anything for the scene.
Oh, of course. That's dedication,
right? Yeah. Well, I wanted to touch on Nash because it looks like it's the only character that you've revisited a couple times.
Yeah.
What's it like going from, like, say, Death Box 3 years later, jumping back into Nash for Zandavi Lives?
Okay, this is going to sound really, really weird, but when Mike wrote that character, and like he noticed that there's a bit of that Nash in me, so I'm just like, it's like this, we all have different aspects to our personalities, and it's like, yes, I can do that. But Mike is like, if I was a monster killer, I'd want to be this. And then it's sort of, he's channeling it through me, and I go, okay, I got it. But it's like, if I just pared down everything that life has formed into me, that guy lives there, and I'm like, ooh, that's kind of scary. But it wasn't that hard, because I just got it so well for me. I mean, it works for me, it works for Mike. So yeah, it was easy, and it's like I could pick that up again, which I will. That's why I'm saving the glasses.
Perfect. If you need them, I got a couple here.
Yeah, you keep those. We might need them.
A couple other films that I noticed, it was Dead Rush, which was at Blood in the Snow.
Yeah.
How did that one come around? Because I love the idea for that story.
Yeah, the first person thing. Dead Rush. Again, I met Zach Ramelin, who writer director of that film, through Mike, through doing Spook Slayers, as a matter of fact, because Raven, his girlfriend, was in that movie, and so Raven Cousins, and so I met Zach, a great guy, and then when he was doing that film, he had one little spot, and he said, "You know what? I want to get you to do that." And I went, perfect, sure. And so, like, I'm the dad, like, I'm on the phone. You get one couple of little small glimpses of me and some voiceover stuff, but that's, again, just knowing connection. You know, he just said, "I got this little spot. Can you do it?" Sure.
And that is a huge part of this industry, though, is your networking. It's who you know, and and not necessarily in a use them kind of way. It's just friends.
Yeah. Well, it's I don't know, maybe, like, I kind of look at it as a bit of, I'm kind of proud of that, of what I do, is that there are multiple directors that have hired me more than once, like, and so, like, it's like, good, I'm doing something right if people are coming back to the well and going, oh, okay, I got this one for you. There's even Ryan Andrews movies, like I was in Black Eve, and also in Art of Obsession, all of Mike's short films, Phil Santos, Blake Van de Graaff, couple with him. And anyway, there's a lot of them that I'm like really happy. It's like, good, they came back. So
that's excellent. Now I got a couple of things here. Michael said the Resurrections of Clarence Neveldine is where you met. Zach has a cameo in it.
Oh yeah, it was Neveldine, not Spook Slayers. Yeah.
There we go. And Kelly corrected me. I do apologize. Dead Rush was at CFF, not
That's right.
And the one I was thinking of was Dead Sight.
Dead Sight.
Yes, that was there, I think, 2 years ago. But yeah, Dead Rush was at CFF. Okay, I stand corrected on that one. But that brings up the next film I want to talk about, was Late Night Double Feature.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's all Jason Tanis is doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He said, "You flicked me in the head. Now you have to be in this film."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, it's cool because they inserted, like, that whole, Dr. Tongue sort of late night horror host from the local TV station. Was a great premise for that movie, and so they put in those cheesy commercials, and the local commercial guy, and Jason came up with this idea for Killer Mortgages and got me to do that segment, which was a fucking blast. That turned out really funny.
Yeah, I've seen Late Night Double Feature at least a half a dozen times, and I love the layout of it. Like you said, the little fake commercials, the anthology aspect. And
actually, I just watched that about a month ago on Amazon Prime.
Yes,
I'm like, it's on Amazon Prime. Are you kidding? So I had to watch it. So.
Well, one of the other ones you mentioned was Art of Obsession, and that one was at Blood and Snow. I do remember that one for Ryan Andrews. I know Ryan, and he filmed that very quietly and very secretively. So how did you find out about that film?
Well, that goes back to what I said earlier, where I was at my aunt and uncle's place on a Canada Day, and I got a call from Ryan Andrews. I'm like, what? So, hey, Ryan, and he goes, that's where he had somebody for that role, but that person bailed on it, and I'm like, okay, lucky for me, I get to be in your movie. So he said, yeah, let's do it.
Very nice.
I was pretty happy with that. There was something you just said about Late Night Double Feature that caught my. Anyway, I forget. Sorry about that.
No, don't worry. If you remember, just shout it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Nick Smith says Late Night Double Feature, great flick. He might be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that dude's in it. He's great. Hi, Nick.
Jason mentioned, I really like what Tim did in Spook Slayers. Tim had such presence and made such unique choices for the character. Once Late Night Double Feature got going, I was looking for a way to get him in there.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
But when your friends know you and they know your craft, they're the first ones to say, you know what, I got a guy.
Yeah, I'm kind of that guy. It's like, yeah, I got a guy. Yeah, I know a guy, he can do that. And so I jump in and do these things. It's always fun because, I'll go to the screening of a lot of these films, right? And then, and the cast and the crew, they all get up there, and then I walk up and they're like, who the fuck is that guy? I'm like, well, I'm in the movie.
Now, one of the things I wanted to touch on too is in IMDb right now, you have got a lot of red stuff, which is either post, pre, or in production.
Mhm.
This shows that you're keeping busy even now. How are you keeping busy with what's going on?
Well, um, it, I had sort of was at a crossroads, and it would have been in the fall of 2018. And I'm like, well, I usually do 3 or 4 or 5 films a year. In 2018, there was like virtually nothing, and I was going to refocus my energies elsewhere, and I was just going to stop acting unless somebody just called and be like, okay, maybe I will. And then I thought about it, and really assessed where I was at in life in general. And I gave myself a kick in the ass and said, "What the fuck are you thinking? Just like, don't do more of it. Try harder. You really like it. I mean, I've been uh, hired enough that there's some credibility there. So, try harder." Then I thought, I think I'm gonna pursue getting an agent because I had never had any representation, and that was fine with me. Um, and so I thought, okay, I'm going to get all these materials, all these things together, and then I'm going to pursue some representation after Christmas in the new year, 2019. And fortunately, it was just kind of strange. I got an email from an agent at the end of January before I'd personalized all these different emails, these communications. I had a list of people I wanted to contact, and then I got this email, and I'm like, okay. The guy's name's Jeffrey Morton, great guy, and he said, "Can we have a chat?" And I said, "Sure." So we got on the phone and we rapped for about an hour and a half. And I just went, "You know what? That's a cool guy." I said, "Okay, let's do it." And he said, "Okay." And then next thing you know, 2 weeks later, I'm driving up to Hamilton, being the principal in some TV show, and then this TV show and that TV show, a handful of commercials. I did a play that ran for a week, and few feature films, couple shorts, I think. So it was like 2019 ended up being a very, very busy year. And so that then all of a sudden I'm getting ready to ramp up for 2020, going, okay, now I'm going to push even harder this time. I need to get a little more adventurous. And then, the zombie apocalypse happened, and I put the brakes on everything. So it's like, okay, well, there's no productions. Everything's shut down. So I, concentrated on some other things. And then I thought, well, if this is going to end, and it will, then I want to be ready for it. And so I want to start putting my materials together. And then in the last couple of months, I got contacted by a filmmaker for a role. I sent in a self-tape, got the role, and then he was working on another whole concept that's these are feature films, and he's like, well, wait a minute, I got this other film. Would you like to do that? And that's as a lead character. And I'm like, well, yeah. So we talked about the whole concept, and so those are in pre-production right now. And as soon as things can get rolling on them, they will. Once the this whole COVID situation has been sorted out. So surprisingly, that just kind of came up, and I think that that was part of like getting my new website together, cutting a demo reel, a secondary demo reel just for reactions and things, and just getting that out there and being able to have some fresh marketing material, which is what I sent to you and a whole bunch of other people.
Nice. Well, yeah, it looks like you are prepped. You are
Yeah.
ready. You're at the starting gate now. Now the plague just needs to go away.
Yeah, I know. I was like, this was supposed to happen, 6 months ago, but here we are.
Well, Andrew just mentioned it. He goes,
Hey, Andrew,
great actor.
how you doing, buddy? Andrew, great guy.
Um, oh, I think I just did the same thing. I had a question and it just disappeared.
Sorry, I was rambling.
No, 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 no. I do this on a regular basis.
It's the vodka.
That's what it is. You thought this was water.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, thank you so much for sitting down and chit chatting. If people want to follow you, what like you said, you just put together your website. What's the website?
It's timothypaulmccarthy.com.
Nice and simple. I like that.
Yeah, nice and simple. And I have a presence on Facebook because that's the center of where we communicate in film. Don't really engage much there, but I would if somebody wanted to. And so that's it.
Excellent. Well, man, thank you so much. And if you have things coming up, let us know because we can let people know for sure.
Awesome. I will.
Excellent. I guess that's it for this episode of Bits Radio, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we can have more live ones like this.
Awesome.